Do you have time to talk about the four-armed cult? If you do, then it's time for us to explore the Broodsurge Bomb. So how do we go about making a Broodsurge Bomb? Well, we start off with a Patriarch, and then we add to that 10 Genestealers. And after that, we add that to a Goliath Truck to wrap them up nice and safe inside. And that's going to equal damage and destruction wherever they go. So what makes this unit so deadly? Well, we first of all got the Patriarch. He's doing 5 attacks at weapon skill 2 plus, strength 6, AP minus 2, damage 2. His stuff is twin linked, which means he's re-rolling all wound rolls. He's joined by 10 little friends, and between them they're going to be doing 40 attacks, which is weapon skill 2, strength 4, AP minus 2, damage 1. Already that's a melee blender of a unit, but the Patriarch brings in an extra gift, which is devastating wounds. That means that any 6s to wound are going to go through as mortal wounds straight through everybody's armor. So that's really, really terrifying. But of course, we're playing Biosantic Broodsurge, and that means we can't bring a Patriarch without an enhancement of Biomorph adaptation. And that means he's going to get +1 to his AP and his damage. That means that this Patriarch's going from AP2 to AP3 and from damage 2 to damage 3. Suddenly, something like that is going to be scaring a lot of elite infantry, Terminators, and even some of the more tougher models in the game. So that's already terrifying. But also, let's move on from that. We're playing Biosantic Broodsurge, which means that if we're charging, and let's be honest, this unit has to be charging if you're going to be using it properly, well, we get +1 to our attacks per model, which means that Patriarch is now doing 6 attacks on the charge, and those Genestealers are now doing 50 attacks on the charge, which is terrifying indeed. But look what's just driven in. It's the Ridge Runner, and that Ridge Runner, he can shoot his mortar into an enemy opponent, which this unit is going to be charging into, and now we've got +1 AP. That takes our Patriarch up to -4 AP and our Genestealers up to -3 AP. That means that anything with a 3-up save is not going to save any of the Patriarch's attacks and is going to be only saving on 6s with the Genestealers. My goodness me, once again, this is getting out of hand. But we've also got a 1 CP strat, +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters. That means we're wounding everything on 5s with the Genestealers, and it means the Patriarch might even be wounding on 4s, re-rolling all his wound rolls. Anything goes through at -4, and anything on a 6 is just mortal wounds, 3 damage. So this is how scary it is. But it's not just the damage which is scary, it's also the movement, because we start off in a Goliath truck, and we then disembark 3 inches to get out of that truck. We then have an 8-inch movement with our Genestealers and our Patriarch, and after that we are going to advance. We can advance if the dice gods love us, 6, but if the dice gods hate us, in warped ones it's usually that, it's a 1. But we're going to advance 1 to 6 inches, and that rule for the Genestealers and the Patriarch is that they can advance and charge. That means that they can then charge 3 to 13 inches. Hang on a minute, 3 to 13 inches? Yes, because we get +1 to charge in Biosantic Broodsurge 2, and then we get into combat. That means that we have a threat range of 15 inches to 30 inches, and that's terrifying enough. But wait, there's more. Oh yes, 1 CP will give you +1 to charge for each target up to 3. So if you choose to use this CP to charge 1, you get +1 to your charge. If you choose 2, you get +2, and so on. That means that we have a maximum threat range of 33 inches getting out of a Goliath truck. That horrendously powerful unit is going to be coming to get you wherever you are on the board. Now, what does that mean? Guardsmen, dead. Space Marines, dead. Terminators, 6 dead. Repulsor Executioner, dead. That Canis Rex pain in the backside is taking 20 wounds. That is some serious output from something which can threaten across the board. So that's the Broodsurge Bomb, consisting of a Patriarch, 10 Genestealers, all wrapped up in a Goliath truck for 325 points. What's good about this unit? Well, it's got amazing movement, scary killing power, and mortal wound output to make someone cry. What's bad about it? Well, it can easily be screened out. It's usually one use because once your opponent sees what it can do, they will put everything into killing it at the next turn. And also, Overwatch can really ruin your day. For tricks in Biosantic Broodsurge, we've got a 6-inch pile-in or consolidation strat, which is really lovely. We can put this unit in with another, and when that other one kills the unit which you're fighting into, we can then 6-inch pile into something more juicy behind and do all of that damage to that. Also, if someone kills your Patriarch in combat, you can spend a CP and do 2d3 mortal wounds as a middle finger claw up at them as the Patriarch goes down for good. And also, it costs 6 resurgent points to bring back those 10 Genestealers. So if you really want to, you can bring back those. Obviously, it doesn't have the Patriarch, it doesn't have the devastating wounds, but still, you can be putting out 50 attacks, and you can still spend that 1 CP to make it +1 to wound against vehicles if you would like to. Thank you for listening to this talk about the four-armed cult, where we've been looking at the Broodsurge Bomb. Let us know in the comments if this is something you're going to try after listening to this, or it's something which you use in your games and you love just as much. Maybe you're someone who actually thinks you can spend your points better elsewhere. Well, let us know. Also, I'd be very interested in any tricks and tips which you haven't heard me talk about today, because by working together, we can let that four-armed emperor get to where he needs to be, and we can form plans generations in the making. Keep an eye out for the channel, because you'll see lots of games where I show off the Broodsurge Bomb. This is Biofagus Simon saying see you on the next one.